Welcome to Media Thread, the video series where I cover my favorite media texts of the year and rank them as they appear. It took a while, but I finally experienced a media text worthy of kickstarting the series, namely the movie Haikyuu, the Dumpster Battle. I've been waiting so long for this to come out, almost 4 years since the anime's 4th season aired. I might as well have been waiting 4 years considering I started the Haikyuu anime in early 2020 and had been looking forward to the battle at the garbage dump ever since it was set up halfway through season 1. This is the match that finally pits Karasuno against their rival team Nekoma, which is the match that has had the most build-up in the story. I thus had very high expectations for it. I mean, it is the match I've been the most excited for, and I was thinking that a 5th season could become my favorite because of it. You can imagine my panic when it got announced that the anime would end on 2 movies instead of seasons, especially since I had heard that the manga had over 100 chapters of content left. So to cram all of that into 2 movies sounded like a recipe for disaster, like the Promised Neverland Season 2 levels of rushed. Fortunately, this first movie wasn't too negatively affected by this format as it covers a single match, but it did still feel rushed, and I haven't even read the manga. One of Haikyuu's biggest strengths is that it takes its time with its matches to give depth to the characters, not just those on the main team, but the opposing teams as well. This movie does do that, and actually puts more emphasis on the opposing team, but because the runtime is so short, only a few of the characters receive the spotlight. Although Karasuno's Hinata is the main character of Haikyuu, Nekoma's Kenma is the main character of this movie, which makes complete sense, as he's the one who develops and gets affected by this match the most. The movie also gives focus to Hinata and Kuro since they're the closest characters to Kenma. Everything involving these 3 is fantastic, but I wish some other characters would have gotten more time to shine as well, especially considering this is such a pivotal match between opposing players who know each other well. We do get glimpses of some of these dynamics, like the mutual respect between Yaku and Nishinoya, the bromance that is Yamamoto and Tanaka, and the rivalry of Kuro and Tsukishima, but I wish they were expanded upon. Ukai performing a remote handshake with Nekomata through his grandson after the match is a powerful moment, but that's all the relationship gets, which feels like wasted potential considering their rivalry is the foundation for this much anticipated event. There's not much room to highlight relationships within the teams either, the Yamaguchi and Tsukishima team up feeling less significant than it should. At least Kenma and Kuro got ample screen time together, with substantial flashbacks to their adorable childhood. These 2 have become some of my absolute favorite Haikyuu characters because of this match, especially Kenma. Kenma in this match gets similar development to Tsukishima in the Shiratorizawa match, and it's just as effective. I like how Kuro tells Kenma early in the game that he can learn something from Tsukishima, who has acquired a taste for volleyball, and this certainly pays off by the end. During the first 2 sets, Kenma is mainly concerned with outplaying Karasuno and particularly Hinata, and although we do see him have fun and get excited by his own competence, it isn't until the final set that he truly gets into it. I've always loved Kenma's 4D chess plays, and his strategy to isolate Hinata from Kageyama is another brilliant scheme of his. What makes this even more interesting is that Kenma seemed to be hoping for Hinata to break through his strategy, as he admires how Hinata is constantly pushing himself and doing something new. This in turn pushes Kenma to expand his own limits, leading to a desperate final set in which Kenma is more into this match than anyone else. I love the moment where Kenma desperately jumps for the ball and screams, followed by his exclamation of how much fun he's having. It's such a satisfying moment, especially for Kuro and Hinata who revel in it. Hinata's loud cheer may seem like an over-exaggeration to those who are watching from afar, but he's finally accomplished his mission of getting a strong reaction out of Kenma. The voice acting is on another level, and I love Kuro's hearty laughs as well. It's so wholesome seeing everyone involved have so much fun, even apathetic characters like Kenma and Tsukishima. Kenma has always been a good player, but he's always tried to be lazy on the court, and often needs to get substituted off the court before the end of a match. Even though he's utterly tired and out of breath here, Kenma does his damnedest to keep the match from ending. After all, what he hates more than a game over is for an amazing game to end. He truly embraced Nekoma's principles of keeping the ball in play for as long as possible. I love that Kenma embraces Kuro as well, thanking him for teaching him volleyball. What a lovely pair of kittens. The soundtrack by Yuki Hayashi is beautiful as ever, and I love the movie's theme song Orange by Spyair, so much so that I wanted it to be used during the match and not just the credits. It seems like a perfect fit for the final rally of a match, but I realize it wouldn't have worked for this one. The final point of this match is directed brilliantly from the point of view of a desperate Kenma. It felt very chaotic and immersive, and just like Kenma, I didn't want the match to end. The short runtime works on a meta level in that sense, and the match wouldn't have looked this good had it not been a movie, so the format does have its benefits. I still don't see why it couldn't have been longer though. It should have been at least 2 hours, but it's not even 90 minutes, and I feel like around 8 episodes in the 5th season would have been ideal for this match. It might be hard for some of you to believe that this is a favorite media text of mine for the year with the amount of complaints I've given it, but just know that my criticisms stem from adoration for the series and me wanting it to be as good as it possibly can. At the end of the day, Haikyuu the Dumpster Battle is still a highly entertaining addition to one of my favorite stories, which would have been a bigger guarantee to make my favorites list had it been better paced. This movie might not rank that high in the long run, and that's a shame. Oh well, don't mind. I'm Arcadon, and hopefully you'll see me next time!